Today I'm going to do a little video on designing sounds in Reaper, specifically creating different sounds with one plugin. So I'm using this free plugin called Alphatron. You can download this from, I think, freevst.com or something like that. It's a very simple digital synth. It's got 3 oscillators here. It can do sequencing here. And then we've got our filter for our attack, decay, sustain, release, and our voltage control here. And then this over here is just our reverb section and some coloring controls for our sound. Okay, so let's look at the sounds that we're creating today. So we're doing a lead, we're doing a step, and we're doing a pad. And the task for this one is I'm creating a sci-fi style soundtrack type song, piece of music. And I'm going to use these plugins for that, or this one plugin for that. And these are going to be my patches. And, you know, one thing that a lot of people will probably do is just use presets. So, I mean, you can do that in this one. So if you go down here, there's lots of presets. But we're focused on creating a unique sound. So I've already created this one, so let's listen to it a little bit. So this is going to be the lead one, so the melody of the piece, whatever I decide to write, is going to be using this one. And I chose a pretty short attack because I wanted to be able to cut through. I didn't want too much release or sustain. I just wanted to be not totally percussive, but pretty bell-like, much like the preset. Not sure what the preset sounds like before you mess with it. I've already gone through and changed all of the values. So that's the first sound. Let's listen to the second one. So for this one, I've created a little stepwise sequence here. So with Alphatron, you can choose the notes here, and you can choose the velocities of the said notes, and then the number of times it's going to play back here. So I'll play the patch first so you can just hear what it sounds like. Now I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sequencer for this. So I can literally just play this. So I'll play what I created here for you. You can see how it cycles through the notes and the velocities. It's pretty cool. And you can do different patterns and stuff over here and be a little dynamic with it, but I want it to be more like a static. This is kind of like the middle ground. So when I'm using a stepwise, I tend to make it, it's meant to glue these things together. So there's going to be a lead, there's going to be the stepwise one, and there's going to be a pad here, which is going to be more of an ambient sound. This one I have not fully created, so I just have kind of an idea, and I'll do this one live with you. So this is the only one I haven't actually gone in and change. So this is pretty much what Alphatron looks like when you load it in, as far as like the values and whatnot. I do want a kind of spacey sound, so maybe we'll go through a couple of presets and try some things and see what we can create with this one. So I wonder if I double click, I just want to see if any of these have been changed. I don't think so. Okay. So let's listen to what it sounds like. Noticing is that this is kind of similar to my first thing. Let's listen to the first thing again. It's too similar. So let's change this. So we can change our waveforms. This is an easy way to get a unique sound. We can change it individually for each of our oscillators. We have 3 oscillators. Only one of these interacts with the presets here. So this is, probably how you're going to make the biggest change to your sound. So let's try maybe harmonic synchronization, I believe is what it's called. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the rest of these waveforms as well, because it just sounds too much like the first one to me. So let's do that. So let's look at what we were doing with the first one. We want to have 3 distinct sounds. It's really confusing when you have them both overlaid, but I've got a sine wave, a triangle wave, and a bell. Okay, so let's just make it totally not that on this other one here. And again, we want an ambient sound. I tend to think of sine waves as being kind of the ambient of the waveforms, the more reserved. But we may have to like that. It's a little bright though. Okay. So we're gonna have to EQ that, but we'll worry about that a little later. And let's change this one. Let's try a triangle. And let's lower the level. This is just the volume level of the oscillation here. I like that. So what if I change the filter? No, I like the other one better. I can maybe if I lower it, that will be better. Let's try that. Oh, it only goes to -10. I see. Okay, so that's the first part, changing our oscillation. So we got something we can deal with here. So let's mess with our attack, decay, sustain, release, our envelopes here. So let's lower the resonance. I believe that will cut some of the high end. Whoops. That's pretty good. Let's do a little more modulation. I like to have modulation in an ambient sounding patch. Taming the high end pretty good. And let's play some chords so we hear how it sounds as a chord. Since we're doing a pad, we're probably going to be playing chords. Let's look at our polyphony here. We have up to 5 voices. That's probably enough for what I'm doing. Again, since this is just a pad, it does not need to be super fancy. I don't have to play 20 notes at a time or anything crazy. So let's mess with our envelopes here. So since this is a pad, let's make the attack longer. And I always like to play it in between adjustments. I like that. Let's increase the decay a little bit so it gets louder as it decays. Hopefully. Good. Now, do we want the sustain to go down in volume? I'm going to say yes. And then the release. Let's lower it as well. Let's hear what that sounds like. Sounding pretty cool to me. And let's mess with this other one as well. So we raised, let's make it mirror it, but let's be a little more intense with this second envelope here. Oh, so to be clear, this is the envelope of our filters. This is the envelope of our voltage. So this should affect our volume a little more. Hear that? Hear how the swell is like way more pronounced? So that's good. I like that sound. It's pretty cool, right? Let's do a five voice chord. I don't know. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. Um, what do we want with this here? A nice wide reverb, right? With a good amount of size. We don't need the bass. We don't need that so much. But a little bit of saturation. Let's give it one more listen. Cool. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I just wanted to show you my process for creating sounds. It's a lot of trial and error, and I'm going to create a track with this later, and I'll share that with you guys. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.